Hi. Hi out there, I'm Gloria. Welcome to Yoga with Gloria. I'm so glad that you guys are here to practice with me today. We have a great class today um, that I hope that you will find energizing and rewarding. This is a full body flow and more like intermediate, but I'll give um, modifications. Okay, just want to thank all of you who have supported me in any way that you have, sponsoring me, or um, whether you're telling friends about my channel and things like that. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope that my making yoga accessible to everybody is helpful for you. And just want to share that with everybody out there. All right. So before we get started, just say hello in the comments and know where you're from, especially if you're new. And if you have any questions during class, just type them in and we'll get to you as soon as we can. All right. Hi, Alice. Welcome back. And Barbara and Layla and Abigail and Jen. You finally made it back. It's been a while. I'm glad you could make it. All right. Let's get started. So we'll start. Let's just close our eyes today. Just connect to our center. So as you inhale, just feel that belly expanding wide on the inhale and relaxing down on the exhale. Belly, ribs, and chest rising on the inhale and falling on the exhale. Just let go of everything else you have going on in that outside world. Just be here for yourself for this hour that we've committed to yoga. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Then we'll inhale all the way to the collarbones. Hold your breath for a few seconds. Open your mouth and blow it out. Again, inhale, filling up. Holding it at the top. Open the mouth, blow it out. Last time, inhale, filling up. Hold it a little longer this time. Lift your chest. Take the sides of your neck back. And then open the mouth, blow it out. Hands in front of your heart, drop your gaze, and take a moment to call up an intention for today's class. And we'll seal that in with 3 ohms, inhaling deeply. All right, open your eyes. And welcome, Roseanne, James, and Sylvia, and Jody. Welcome. We're going to start in our child's pose. So let's take your knees wide, your big toes touching, and bring your forehead down to the floor. Then you're going to walk your hands over to your left. And over to the right. And then come on up. And we're going to just flip our hands around so the fingers are facing the knees. And if it's too deep, you can walk it closer to the knees. You can make, yeah, and then you can sit back on the heels, or you can walk it closer. Sit back close to the heels, just finding a stretch. All right. And then we'll bring them forward again. Let's do a little cat cow, warming up the spine. You're going to look up, inhale, exhale, drop and round. Inhale, looking up, exhale, rounding. Inhale, lift, exhale, round. All right, we're going to take the right arm up and make a fist and circle. And we're going to thread the needle, bring our head to the floor, and then isometrically drag your right arm back. And then you can take your left hand up to the top if you like. You don't have to do this part. You can keep it like this. But if you like to, you can stay here and you can do the challenge if you want. Left leg straight. Lift it straight up and then slowly bring it down onto the floor, maybe into your hands even. And then stack your shoulders, stack your hips, and maybe look up. and release. And the other side, right arm up, make a fist, thread the needle. Oh wait, I just did that. Left arm up. Oh, hi, John. And thread the needle. So isometrically dragging it back towards you. If you like, you can take your right hand higher. You can bring your right leg back and lift it straight up, and maybe bring it forward into your hand or onto the floor. And you can stay there or stack your shoulders and roll it back. And release. Let's bring both feet together, and you're gonna straighten the left leg and the right arm. And then pull it away from each other, and let's see if you can take it out to the side. So the left leg out to the side, right arm out. So it looks like this. Oh, like this. Awkward airplane. And then from there, bring it back. And then elbow to the knee for just 6 today. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And turn to your right. Catch your foot if you can, and kick it away. And release. Other side. So stretching your right arm, your left arm, sorry, the right leg. And then see if you can take it out to the side. And then back to forward and back. And bring the knee in towards the elbow for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And turn to your left. Catch your foot. Get away. And release. All right, let's come on down to your belly. And we'll bring our hands in the corners of the mat in front of you. And we're just going to lift up into a cobra with the arms stretched out forward. And then back. And then we're going to bring your hands a little bit closer, coming up. If it's hard for you to do this, you can stay on your forearms. But we're just going to slowly work our way closer and closer. And then we're going to bring it by our chest here. And we're going to come up halfway, and then we're going to squeeze between our shoulder blades. Lifting the hands off the floor, but keeping your feet on the floor. Okay. And then we're going to come on up, roll your shoulders back. And possibly look up if it's okay with your neck. All right, downward dog. Hello, Angelica. And downward dog. Let's go ahead and pedal your feet to the floor. Let's have your feet hips width distance. And we're just going to shift your heels to the left and try to keep your downward dog shape. And then shift it to the right. And back to center. Let's take your right leg up for three-legged dog. And you're going to bring your knee in towards your nose. And then take it back. So knee to nose. Take it back. And then knee to right elbow, little tap. And take it back. And then bring your leg forward between your hands for a runner's lunge here. And then step it forward, forward fold. Lift and lengthen, nice flat back. So use a block if you can't touch the floor. And you're going to walk your hands over to the left. And then over to the right. And back to center. Let's bend your left knee and twist to the right. And then let's bend the right knee, twist to the left. Hello, Dan, welcome. And then back to center, and let's circle the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. All right, let's do a little pranic bath for the shoulders. So palms facing up. And then you're going to bring your palms towards your face. And then bring your pinkies on your skull and trace along your skull to the back of your head and flip your fingers so they're facing up and then shoot it straight up. So scooping your hands, fingertips to your skull. When it gets to the back of your head, flip your wrists so the palms are facing away from each other. Shoot it straight up and then out. Flip the wrist, shoot it up, and then out. So this helps to warm up all those upper body joints. Shoot it up and out. Shoot it up and out. Let's do two more. And last one. All right, clasp your hands behind you. Lift your chest. Hi, Lily, I'm glad you made it. Bend your knees and come forward for forward folds. You can use a belt if your shoulders are very tight. All right, hands to the floor. Let's take your right leg back, left leg back. Lower to your belly, point your toes. Come up for cobra. And downward facing dog. And pedal your feet. Let's take your left leg up this time. And connecting to your core a little bit, bring your knee to your nose and back. Knee to nose, round up like a cat, shoulders over wrists. Take it back. And then the knee, give a little tap to your elbow. And take it back. And then bring it forward. So runner's lunge. Hands can be on blocks if you need to. And then step it forward, forward fold. Circle the arms up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. So you're going to bring your arms up. You're going to bend your knees and sink your hips for chair pose. And then forward fold, clasp your hands. Hands to the floor. You're going to bend your knees, walk, step, or jump back. Lower to your belly, point your toes. Find a cobra. And downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Bend it and stack it. Open your hips. Look under the left underarm. And let's bring it forward. Come on up for high lunge. So root your feet down. Square your hips forward. Left hip forward. Right hip back. And then see if you can grab your left wrist and pull it straight up. And really feel balanced. If you're feeling balanced, you can do a little side bend over to the right. And release. Left hand down, easy twist. And step it back. Lower to chaturanga or to your belly. Cobra or up dog. And downward dog. Feet together, left leg lifts. Let's bend it and stack it. Open up your hips, look under your right underarm. Let's bring it forward. Come on up for high lunge. Square your hips forward, left hip comes back a little, right hip comes forward. And if you're feeling balanced, you can grab your right wrist and you're going to lean over to your left. And release. Let's step it back. Lower to your knees. And then rock forward. Unless you're super strong, you're going to come. If you're super strong, you can do it at full position. Otherwise, on your knees, a little upper body strengthening chaturanga or tricep push-ups. So elbows come straight back for 3, 2, and 1. Find your cobra. And downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Let's bring it forward. Spin the back heel down for warrior 1. So left elbow over the right and lift the elbows up. So hands away from the face. And then you want to protract your shoulder blades away from each other. So you're kind of rounding your upper back between your shoulder blades and take your hands away from each other. To feel that stretch. Some of you have a little back bending practice. If you can hold your balance, you can come up. And release. And then we're going to do eagle arms, warrior 3 legs. So I'll show you modification after this first one. So those of you that can do it right away, elbows right into your sternum, You're going to lift that inner thigh up for warrior 3 legs. If you need modification, you'll interlace fingers over the thigh, lean forward, lift your chest, and then again lifting up to that inner thigh. Or you can do anything with the arms if you want to float them up or out. And then bring them down and step it back. Lower to your belly, cobra, and downward dog. Left leg lifts, bring it forward, spin the back heel down, warrior 1. Right elbow over left for eagle arms. Again, you either lift the elbows to shoulder height, protract your shoulder blades, and take your hands away from each other, or you are doing a little bit of a back bend. All right. And then you can do eagle arms, warrior 3 legs, or you can interlace over your thigh. You can come to a table or furniture if you need to hold on to something and just feel that, what it feels like in your body to hold that leg up, parallelish. And then go ahead and bring your hands down and then step it back. Lower to your belly, point your toes, come on up for cobra. And downward dog. Right leg lifts, let's bring it forward. Spin the back heel down for warrior 2. So you're going to open up into warrior 2. You're going to shrug your shoulders up and then relax them down and spread your fingers away from each other. And reverse the warrior. Fingertips to the back leg or swim them forward to the front leg. Forearm to your thigh for side angle. Reach your arm. You can turn the gaze up. You can take the top hand behind you and roll your shoulder back for half bind, or you can drop your hand to the floor. And then you can bend and straighten. And you can stay here, or some of you can take a full bind if you feel comfortable doing so. And release. Let's quarter turn to your left for Prasarita. So you'll make your legs, your feet parallel to each other, spin the inner thighs back and fold forward. Good. Lift and lengthen, and we're going to quarter turn to the left, setting up for warrior 2. Come on up. And reverse the warrior. Forearm to your thigh, side angle. You can take your top hand behind you and roll your shoulder back. Or you can drop your left hand to the floor, bend and straighten a little bit. And you can take a full bind if it's available. And release. Let's quarter turn back to center here. And we're going to heel toe our feet a little closer together. And we'll start with our hands on our lower thighs above the knees. So the hips are back, like this, hips are back, chest is lifted, and you're just gonna drop your right shoulder forward. Feel that spinal twist. If you want to feel it deeper, then you sit deeper down and you split your legs wider apart. And then other side, left shoulder forward. Again, if you want to feel it deeper, you sit further back with your hips and you press your knees further apart. And release. And then you're going to interlace your fingers and you're going to go side to side. Hips back, shifting the weight from your right to your left. For Skandasana, feel the inner thigh stretching. So some of you I know are more flexible. You can come all the way down. So don't overdo it. Heel down, toes up. And you can, if this heel can come down, then use your arm to press the knee out to feel that deeper inner thigh adductor stretch. And then other side. And one more time on each side. So if you're able to do, if you're super flexible and that heel can come down, you can take a backwards bind. So just like that. One more time on this side. If you can get the heel down, you just wrap the arm around, take a bind. Okay, then you're going to heel toe a little closer so your feet are about 2 hip width distances apart. And then you're going to grab your left wrist, and then you're going to take your hips back and you're going to come down nice flat back and bring your fists between your legs and then bend your legs and then tuck your tailbone under and round up. So it's a full body flow. So hips glide back, swing the arms through the legs, bend your knees, and then a little and then slowly come up. Nice fluid movement up your spine if you can feel for that. Strengthening your spine and the suppleness in your spine, right? So coming forward, tucking tailbone under, rounding up. And then you just switch. So grabbing your right wrist, hips back, nice flat back, bend your knees and tuck your tailbone under. Wave-like motion up the spine. Swing, tuck, wave-like motion up the spine. Tuck, wave it up. 2 more times like that. And last time. Okay. That's good for our spine. We're going to quarter turn to the right, and we're going to end up in warrior 1. So it's a heel to heel alignment. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle. And you're going to square the hips forward. Arms come up. You'll take your left hand and pat yourself on the back for good job. And elbow behind your head. See if you can press your head into your elbow. You can stay here or you can take a full bind. Maybe you can clasp your hands together, or maybe you can use a belt if you can't touch your hands together. And then you'll release your left hand, grab opposite elbows for most people, or you can reverse namaste. And if you need to, you can take even a shorter stance, okay? So squaring the hips forward, and then exhale, folding forward while you're balancing Parsvottanasana. And hands to the floor, lift and lengthen, nice flat back. Exhale, fold. You can pulse here into your right hamstrings. And then go ahead and drop the back knee to the floor and interlace your fingers, and let's come forward for a nice hip flexor stretch. Squaring the hips forward. And you can stay here or you can reach your arms overhead. Anjali Asana. And release. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. So you can have, if you have blocks, you're just going to shift your hips back. You can hold the blocks, or you can have fingertips to the floor like this. If you have neither, you can even be up here. Okay. Good. So the heel is down from your right leg. The toes are up, and then you're isometrically dragging the heel back towards you, scooping your heart forward. And then you're going to keep your heel where it is, and you're going to do a small movement with the toes. Are just going to go fall over to the right halfway, or however much you can do. Keep the heel where it is, and then isometrically drag the heel in toward you. You'll feel the hamstrings, different part of it stretching. And then back to center. See if you can drop your toes to the left this time, pulling it in towards you. And back to center. And if you can, you'll even fold over the leg while dragging it back towards you. Okay. And you have your knees, chest, chin, or just to your belly. Find your cobra. And let's curl the toes, downward facing dog. And just notice how the right hamstring feels way more open and light compared to the left hamstrings, the left side. So let's even that up. Left leg comes up. We're going to bring it forward, spin the back heel down for warrior one. And then you'll take your right hand and pat yourself on the back. And take your elbow behind you and press your head back into the elbow. So you can stay here, or you can try to take a full bind, or you can use a rope, a belt between your hands here if you need it. Let's take your right hand behind you, reverse namaste, or just grab opposite forearms, opposite elbows is fine. And if you need to, you can step the back foot a little closer, square the hips, and straighten the front leg, and try to balance as you come down. So Parsvottanasana. And let's release your hands to the floor or to blocks. Keep taking the left hip back. And little pulses. So I just like to fold over the front leg. Feel the hamstring softening. And fold. Let's go ahead and drop your right knee to the floor for low lunge and come on up. So low lunge. Interlace your fingers. Bring your hips forward. You're pressing down with your right knee, lifting up through the crown of your head, keeping the hips squared. So the left hip back, right hip forward. And you can stay here, or if you want to lift your arms up overhead. All right. So hands to the floor. You're going to shift your hips back and straighten the front leg. So heels are down, toes are up. So you might be on fingertips. You might be on blocks or soup cans, whatever you have at home here. So dragging this heel back towards you, feeling your hamstrings turning on. And the right hip is over the right knee. And releasing, and you're going to keep your heel where it is, but you're going to rotate your toes to the left as far as you can for a nice stretch. And then once again, drag your heel back towards you. And release. And then the same thing, dropping your toes over to the right a little and pull it in. Just stretching all parts of our hamstring. And coming back to center. And then if you're able to, with a fairly straight back, you'll keep your chest lifted and you'll just fold forward. Keep pulling the heel back towards you. Maybe fold forward over this leg. And release. All right, let's take a gate pose. So I'll mirror you. I'm going to take my right knee out. So you take your left leg straight. My right leg is straight. So for gate pose, if you need a block, you hold a block out to the side. So pressing down, you're going to side bend here, holding the block. You can have it lower, or you can forego the block. Fingertips down, side bend. See if you can turn your heart up to the sky. And come up. Hi, Asli. Welcome. Lifting up through the crown of your head, and we're going to go the other direction. And then you can do the same stretch, or we're going to take it into a little bit of a back bend. So you can either stay in your side bend if back bending is not an option for you, or you're going to take your right foot back, then your left hand, I'm mirroring you. So you take your straight leg back and then your hand back, and you bring your hips forward. So it looks like this, hips forward, and you find a little bit of a back bend, or kind of like a wild thing on your knee, and come on back. And we switch sides. So take your right leg straight off to the side. I'm going to mirroring you, and you're going to take your hand down, side bend. Turning the gaze up. Other side. And then take your straight leg behind you. You can take your fingertips a little behind you. Bring your hips forward. And maybe find a little back bend for some of you. And release. And then we will take a seat here. Let's take your right leg forward. If you can, you're going to bring your knee to the outer edge of your mat here. And you're going to sit up for pigeon pose. So beginners, your heel is right by your pelvic bone here. And then if you're more advanced, you can bring your shin more parallel to the top of the mat. But make sure you don't feel it in your knee, so you really have to dorsiflex this foot. Okay? Otherwise, you're more closer to your pelvic bone there. All right. And from here, you square your hips forward. Maybe you take your elbows to a block. Maybe you just bring it down. And then you just breathe and unravel the tension in your hips, the emotions we carry in our hips. And come on up and turn to your left. If you're able to grab your foot, you can pull it in. And let's just switch sides. So go ahead and take your left leg forward. Oh, and also if pigeon is not accessible to you in this way, you can also just lay on your back and do this figure 4. So you take your ankle over your knee and you just interlace your fingers behind either your hamstring or your calf, your shin. And you come up and turn to your straight leg to the right. See if you can grab your foot. If you can, you pull it in any amount. You might need a strap to grab your foot even. And if you can hold it, see if you can squeeze your inner thighs toward each other so you don't fall over. Engage your core. Maybe lift the arm a little bit. All right. And then we have time for Jani Shirshasana. Right leg forward. The left leg is like in tree pose. Hands behind you, lift and lengthen. And then take your left hand towards the outside edge of your leg or toward the outer edge of your foot. You're going to lift and lengthen and fold forward, forehead towards your shin or towards your knee. So if you're less flexible and if your back is really rounded and not comfortable, then you can use a strap here and just pull it. Make sure you have a good posture, chest lifted and squeeze between your shoulder blades, and maybe just lean over a little bit. Or if those versions don't work for you, you can always lay on your back and do this. This one, it's hard to mess up with your posture if your back tends to slouch. So you're here if you're still. And come on up. And you're gonna hop your foot over and bend the bottom leg in. Let's just do Ardha Matsyendrasana, twisting towards your bent knee. So the elbow and the knee resist each other, and you lengthen up through the crown of your head. And release. And then other side. So the left leg is straight. Then the inner thighs back. Hands behind you, lift and lengthen, right arm up. And then take it over towards the outer edge of your foot and fold forward. So, Janu Shirshasana, knee, head to knee pose. Three more breaths like this. And come on up. You're going to hop your foot over and let's just bend the bottom leg in for Ardha Matsyendrasana. Lift and lengthen, and you're going to twist towards the opposite knee. So you can either hug the knee in or you can go deeper, elbow past the knee. And release. And let's bring the soles of your feet together for Baddha Konasana. You can make a diamond shape if you like. And use your elbows to press your knees down. Maybe bring your head to your feet. And then you can straighten. Oh, you're welcome, Jan. Glad to see you again. Heels down, toes up. Feel the inner thighs stretch here, and just any amount coming forward. Some of you can use a block here. And coming forward. All right, you're going to scoop up from under your knees. And you're just sit in a comfortable seated position, or you can lay down in Shavasana. We'll just surrender to our practice here. Inhale through your nose, nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, side out. And then we'll take our hands out to the side, flip the wrists up. Inhale. Namaste your hands in front of your heart center. Press it in and smile and feel blessed. And feel gratitude. And with gratitude for our practice here together in the virtual world, let's offer one Om to seal it in. Inhaling deeply. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks. And if you enjoyed the class, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed and share it with a friend. And I'll see you next time. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. Thank you guys.